What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Sound the alarm. This is an urgent update for Nike. This ticker has been on my radar for an update for a little bit, and I believe now is the perfect time. Remember, guys, this is not financial advice, and let's get right to it. So here we are in the weekly chart, and everybody is familiar with Nike for the most part. One of the largest sports apparel companies in the world. And just when you think, the stock is unstoppable. Nike 250%. Oh, it's going to the moon. The market responds. And since we had our peak here in 2021, 22, we have lost 70%, guys. So that's why, a lot of people hold and hold and they want to hold forever. But, you can maximize your profits other ways if you understand chart structure and market sentiment, guys. That's my point. So you could see Nike is trading in this accumulation zone, and it has been almost 10 years, 2017, since we've been back in this zone. So now what? Last time we were in the zone, that's when we started the bullish run for Nike, and you could see we already dropped down and had a response of 52% from this zone, which is very good, very bullish, and a very good move for a high quality stock like this. And you can see we're in the replay here. I'm going to press play and show you how this is a perfect example. Bang. And I'm going to go to the monthly chart, guys. And you could see, I don't use the monthly chart often, but this is significant. And you could see this is a perfect example. Just if, it doesn't matter how much you understand chart structure or market sentiment structure. It's funny because the market makers could say, April Fools and just slam the door on you and they just drop it down. It's no coincidence that you could see the bottom of this accumulation zone was a very strong support and they gapped it down right below. And to me, this is very rare. This is a monthly gap, guys, in the monthly chart. And there has not been you're not going to find many of these in stocks history, and there has been none in the history of Nike stock, the first monthly gap. So, do your own due diligence with that. It's no coincidence that they gapped it down below this accumulation zone. And when the market is pretty bullish today, I might add. And on top of that, I'm going to bring the RSI up. You could see every time the monthly RSI has been oversold, we've had some sort of reaction to the upside in a bullish sentiment, in a bullish way. You could see this, even though we've been getting rejected, and now we are way oversold in the monthly RSI. And real quick, if you're not familiar with my content, check me out. The highest tier, the Master Keeper, patreon.com/GainsKeeper Trading. I have a premium vault of tutorials, trading systems, low to large cap stocks. Some of our swing trades are doing really well right now, guys, in this little rally that we're occurring in the market sentiment. And we go once per week beyond the charts to focus on personal growth and awareness and apply that to the trading world. Become better people and better traders, guys. All right, check me out, patreon.com/GainsKeeper Trading. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest of the drawings, guys, on, and we're going to go to the daily chart. And the good news is this could be a very good opportunity to buy, but the bearish news is that I would be very cautious in this area, guys. So let's go back to the history of the chart. You could see that it's currently, we found support where it's found support before, but this is not a strong support, guys. And if it breaks this, I would say the next area of support is, 40 to 35. That is still, minus 10%, minus 22%, that range in your portfolio. And we also have a weekly gap here, guys. I do not expect this gap to get closed. It is from 2012, but I would not take anything off the table. If we do break down and the market really crashes, then the next support would probably be, I would say, around $27 to this gap, guys, $23. So there is still potential for another, believe it or not, 48%. I do not expect that, guys, but you have to always have that on your radar, especially that we gap down below the strongest accumulation zone and support that we've had in the history of the chart. So this is very significant. But the good news is it could be a good buying opportunity. The RSI is very oversold in the monthly, weekly, and daily. So let's get into prices to the upside if we do see a reversal here. So besides this weekly gap, there is no other gaps to the downside. And you could see I didn't highlight them all, guys. We have a lot of gaps, these green box highlighted areas, a lot of gaps to the upside. And if you see the history of the chart, the stock Nike likes to close these gaps and has a history of closing these gaps. So these are all potential upward prices. And I'm going to go through a little history of the chart real quick just to show you what we need to do to regain these prices. I'm going to turn the drawings off real quick, guys. And you could see we are here in 2021, guys, 22. And you could see we gap down below the daily 200 moving average. And since that time, since 2022, we have never been able to sustain support above it. And it's been getting rejected the whole time here. And if I go to the weekly chart, which is not a coincidence, guys, the weekly gap here also gapped below the weekly 50 moving average. And same story, guys. We have never been able to sustain support above this line, and it's been guiding and rejecting the price for the structure since 2022. And it's the tale of two halves, guys, tale of two stories. On the bullish run, you could see the cyan blue line, the weekly 50 has been supporting it this whole time. We had a fake out here, not a fake out. This was the corona pandemic, but that recovered very quickly. And, it's been supporting it every time. Had the gap down below, and now the other half of the story has been the bearish half. So let's put the drawings back on. And I also believe we are getting compressed by this orange compression line here. You could see that. So let's continue. What happens from here? So guys, I think this could be potentially a macro wedge pattern, but I really don't believe that. I would want to see more touch points, so I'm gonna leave that off the table. But keep that in mind, just pattern identification skills. I think this is just more bear steps getting compressed by the RSI in the zones. And I was almost gonna say this could have been a double bottom pattern, which is bullish, but the price obviously made that pattern invalid. So if I bring the RSI up in the daily chart where we are still, you could see we are forming strength, honestly. And you may say that's crazy, but the price is dropping, but the RSI is still staying having higher lows. So that's bullish for a reversal, guys. So if we do see prices to the upside, remember the prices to the downside, be very cautious with this stock, guys. Very, very cautious, especially if we are on the looming of a bearish market sentiment. But let's say we hold this price at $45 now. You could see we are minus 15% today. That was the gap down. And, this is not going to recover in one day, guys. They could drop it one day, but it's likely not going to recover in one day. But this is the monthly gap with the M. That's very highly likely to get closed. So I think we have a swing potential here of 15%, to the compression line, 34%. And these two EMA lines, and it's no coincidence they're right next to each other, 44%, maybe for the swing retest at 68.19. And it's no coincidence that the daily 200 is right where the weekly 50 is. I'm not going to switch the time frame, guys, but they're exactly the same. So if we want to see prices to the upside, we have to gain, just like we did for the first half of this stock's career from the main action. We have to, it might have to be a gap up or huge volume, but we have to maintain support on this daily 200 and the weekly 50, guys, as I showed you in the other example. If we maintain that support and then we form a higher high here, maybe retest this, come down, close this gap, retest this, and then the true breakout confirmation for a trend reversal, I believe, is at around $80, $79.70. And, we close this gap, maybe close these gaps, form a higher high here, retest this, and then maybe the market sentiment changes by then, and then we could talk about prices to the upside, guys. But I'm not gonna, we have a higher price break here if we want to see prices upside, but we are a long way from that. But remember, guys, I'll do an update as necessary, of course, and keep you guys updated. But our main accumulation zone is here, 50.25 to 60.39. Just remember, just when you think you understand everything, and you could be a very good trader, understand charts, the market makers could do whatever they want, gap it down, but these gap downs provide also good opportunities for gains, guys. So keep your mindset right. Don't get emotionally involved in these stocks. Stick to your chart structure, and you will be successful. All right, guys. Till next time.